People just tell me all the time, Mark, we saw you because of social media. We've never seen a social media platform like this for blinds, changes and shutters. And so it's just a whole lot of fun.
Welcome back to Kim Daily TV. Today in my studio is a very special guest. He is a franchisee of Bloomin Blinds. His name is Mark Tant. He's in Birmingham, Alabama. Mark, welcome to the studio of Kim Daily TV.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me.
I love the ma'am thing. It's a good
Yeah.
Southern boy. All right. So I had a great conversation with Kelsey, the founder of Bloomin Blinds, who told the story, for those of you who followed me, who told the story of how Bloomin Blinds got founded, the family organization, how it's thriving. And in the course of that conversation, Kelsey mentioned Mr. Mark and what Mark had brought to the opportunity using social media. And I thought, ooh, well, because Kim Daly loves social media, this would be a fun conversation. So before we just kind of dive into that, Mark, why don't you tell the followers here a little bit about your background? Why did you get into Bloomin' Blinds?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, background, I was in the military for 8 years. I did consulting primarily with nonprofit organizations, helping them grow and expand and, kind of reach their destination, which was a whole lot of fun. I quit that, was working for a local company, and realized, as much as I've helped people, I could probably do this myself. But I wanted something with proven processes, something I could get off the ground right away. So I probably researched 100, different franchises. Uh,
Wow. Wait. Mark,
okay.
did you use a consultant?
I did use some consultants.
Oh,
I
some?
Yeah,
More than one?
yes, ma'am.
Oh, no.
Yes, I sure did.
Oh, this is obviously another conversation, but continue. I will not interrupt you.
Sure. I looked at pre-existing organizations that just need to be bought out, or again, everything on the table. I didn't leave anything out. But again, I wanted something with proven processes. The company I was working with had processes that had been broken for years. It made the employees unhappy, made the customers unhappy, and I wanted something incredibly solid. So I narrowed it down to about three, and Bloomin' Blinds just kept rising to the top over and over again. And so I flew out, met the three brothers, and I fell in love with them right away. Because organizations rise and fall in the leadership that lead them. And so I knew that they were solid leadership, asked them a bunch of tough questions, even financially. I wanted to make sure that if I bought into something, it was going to be something that lasted. And I just wasn't disappointed in any question I asked them. So, long story short, it took me a while to finally pull the trigger. Kelsey kept my name up on the board for about a year. Um,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
so,
no. Wait, guys, listening to this, okay? That's a really, really, really long time to keep your dream alive. So kudos to you, Mark, for staying on the edge of it, because most people, life just happens. You move in a different direction. This is why my process is 1 to 2 months from start to finish, because
right,
what other than losing a lot of sleep and angst for so many months, what was gained by all that? Was it just getting comfortable being uncomfortable? But you're a veteran.
right, right. It was.
Wait a minute.
I think it was my own ignorance, in
Okay.
the sense of I wanted to make sure that I could take an organization that sells blinds, shades, shutters, etc., and turn it into a multi-million-dollar organization, and that was my goal. And so, even though I talked to people and things like that, I was just unfamiliar with the territory, and it made me fearful, and that fear never served me well. If I would have started earlier, I would have been further along than what I was. But again, I just had to, I think, just kind of take those steps until I finally said, okay, enough is enough. If I'm going to jump, it's now or never.
And maybe it was, going back to you worked with consultants, but maybe you didn't have the right consultant, like someone who really helped you understand the process and embrace what you're doing. Like before I begin talking about specific concepts with people,
Mhm.
I start at that multi-million dollar goal that you just mentioned. I start at the end. Like, what are you looking to accomplish with the business?
Yes,
Right?
ma'am.
Personally, professionally, and financially, who are you dreaming of becoming? And then we're going to back it all the way back to, okay, once I
Mhm.
have that goal and I know what you want to wake up and do and the owner you want to be, then with my knowledge of industry and franchising and relationship, I serve up the 3 to 5. So the connection is very clear from the beginning. And maybe that's what was missing, just being able to connect your outcome to the concepts that you were talking to. And and certainly when you feel like you don't know what you don't know, you
Mhm.
can't make a decision and you shouldn't make a decision because that's where a lot of, poor decisions are made. So,
Right. And I didn't wanna step out on something that, was gonna crumble or fail, and so I just wanted to
sure.
make sure it was 100%. So if I had somebody like you along the way, it would've made the process a whole lot easier, but a lot of
But
this
we're
stuff.
here
Yes, ma'am.
now.
A lot of things I had to navigate myself, you know?
You know what I love that you haven't said is that you rolled out of bed and went, "Oh, yeah, my dream is in window treatments," like, no one said that ever, right? So, you're here now. And how long have you been a franchisee?
3 years in February. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you continue telling your story. So you finally said yes. So how's it going for you?
Yeah, so, February, when we started it, about 3 years ago was when COVID hit. So, yeah, so I was like, "Oh, wow, I waited a year and now COVID hit," you know? But I have to say it was probably the best time to open, and serve people and meet people right where they were. Yeah, wouldn't trade it for the world. I feel like I work for HGTV every day. I just go around in homes beautiful. Little old ladies get tears in their eyes because they got shutters and their home's gorgeous and it's what they've always wanted. And you're just helping make people's dreams come true. And so, yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. But of course, once COVID hit, some of the fears crept back in and things like that. And of course, it was, that call that you got a couple months into business of that dream job that you've been waiting on.
Oh, sure.
Sure.
Because once you make a decision and the pressure's off, then the job can finally come.
Yes, absolutely. And make a hard decision. Okay, so either A, I jump ship and, take this dream job, or B, follow a dream that I can create. And I chose to follow a dream that I can create.
So proud of you. That's amazing. I
Well, thank
love
you.
that. So it gives me tears in my eyes because
Yeah.
that's what I wake up to do every day is help people follow those dreams. So it's
Yes,
been a
ma'am.
couple of years now. You have multi-million dollar dreams. So you said you were really looking for leadership and support. So have you been satisfied with the level of leadership and support in this organization?
Absolutely. It's fantastic. I meet with Kelsey every 2 weeks, just because we're one of the leading locations and everybody has blind spots. I want to make sure that,
No pun intended.
yeah, yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
That's okay. And I don't want to miss something or overlook something. And so if I want to continue to become, you know, a $5 or $7 million a year location, then I have to continue to grow and be willing to grow. And so, yeah, that leadership is there and pour into us and anything and everything we need, from software to the practicalities of running a business, daily. And so it's just a whole lot of fun.
I love it. So
Yeah.
how many, trucks or employees, like, how is your organization structured to do multi-millions of dollars in window treatments?
Yeah, great question. So currently we run three vehicles, one sales, and two installers. I had to let two people go, kind of part of running a business. And so I'm in the process of kind of rebuilding that back up, with those two installer spots. So we currently try to have four installers and one salesperson, and then continue to scale from there.
So did you guys catch that? He has multi-million dollar dreams with just a handful of people.
Yeah.
Let's not let that one slide under the radar. In the conversation with Kelsey, he talked about how Mark was doing something like you sort of like thought outside of the box of marketing that Bloomin' Blinds had created, and you started doing something a little bit different that seemed to make all the difference in the world. So tell us a little bit about what you decided to do and how that's been working for you.
Yeah, that's great. So I learned in business a long time ago that the most overlooked things are the things that are free. So a smile is 100% free. How you treat people is 100% free. As well as some of the social media platforms and stuff like that out there. So the way that I try to encourage people, imagine um, a museum, if you would, a place to display the very work in which you do, and that's what social media is for me. It's a place where I get to display everything that I do, the customers I serve, the areas in my city that I serve, and inspire other people for their homes and spaces as well. And so we started doing that. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I don't have time during the day. And so I do all my posts and things like that early in the morning. It may not be the most opportune time according to social media platforms, but I have to use the time that I have. And so we just began to push out all these gorgeous photos and different things like that, and grow in it. Like one thing that photographers know is you take a bunch of photos because you don't know which one's going to turn out.
Yeah.
And so just start taking all these gorgeous photos, and before you know it, people are contacting you because they saw your gorgeous photos on the social media platforms. And so, yeah, it's just been a ton of fun. And people just tell me all the time, Mark, we saw you because of social media, or like, we've never seen a social media platform like this for blinds, chains, and shutters. And so it's just a whole lot of fun.
So let's give a shameless plug. What is your Instagram handle?
So it is Bloomin' Blinds of Beham. So Birmingham as a short name, Beham, Bham. And so Bloomin' Blinds of Beham.
Awesome. You guys got to go check it out. As soon as Kelsey had mentioned that to me, the founder of Bloomin' Blinds, I hung up and went right there, and I was not disappointed. I love, Mark, how you look at your business as like you're on HGTV. I mean, like, who
Mhm.
doesn't want to be in a beautiful home? Everybody,
Right.
whether you live in a, expensive home or it's not your dream home, but you want to make it, feel good on your way to your dream home, or just love the home that you're in, and you want to beautify it. And the blinds, like paint, it's a small thing that has such a dramatic effect, right?
Yes.
Especially when you invest money in something that has a little chicness to it, or like it's so fun, and it definitely can change the dynamic of a room. So followers out there, please go and check out his Instagram. So Mark, going back to the processes and procedures of the franchise. So who told you to think about social media?
So part of it's from my background. And so because I did consulting for so many years, and again, people just kind of overlooking, like they would spend, you know, $10,000 on a software system, but then overlook just the basic things. And so I realized right away, starting a business, I did not want to overlook the basic things. Never get comfortable in business, never lose your smile, never lose your excitement, never stop posting, never stop inspiring. And so I spend every day just looking to inspire that next customer.
It's so good. And when you hire, do you hire people with that same, mission, if you will?
Absolutely. And so you have to have a passion for existence. I mean, if you're just kind of muddling through life and, passionless and things like that, Bloomin' Blinds is a place where you get to live out your passions. You get to meet some of the most special people that you would never have a chance to meet, other than them making an appointment. Customers love us so much that they try to find other stuff for us to do just so we stick around longer. And you
That's so
build
nice.
in a short amount of time, you build such profound relationships with the people that you serve.
Isn't that
And so,
beautiful?
yes, and so that's what we look for in hiring and things like that. We talk about around here all the time. It's creating emotional moments. Like, that's what we want to do. Like, people are moved emotionally because of their shade shutters and their interaction with Bloomin' Blinds.
That's amazing. It's probably why you're so successful, right? There's that great quote out there that says that people may not remember what you say, but they'll
Mhm.
remember how you made them feel. And
Yes.
so you're going for that inspiring moment and how you're making them feel. They're going to remember you and probably also send you some referrals.
Quite a bit. Yes, ma'am. Keeps us quite busy.
It
Absolutely.
keeps your business self-sustained. It's beautiful. Well,
Yes.
I can already tell why you are so successful, right? Like, when people are exploring franchises, oftentimes they're so stuck in the numbers and they're so stuck in the mechanics of running a business. And to the point you're making, they're losing sight. So many people are losing sight of the simplistic part of what actually makes people successful, enjoying what you do, having passion for helping people, bringing a smile to somebody else's life, creating a moment when you deliver that product to them that touches them, that makes them say, "How can I help you or bless you because you've touched me?" It's simple things like this that when people are like, "Can I be successful, Kim?" I'm like, "I don't know. Can you?" Because who can
Right.
train for that? Right?
Yes, ma'am. It's like you said, it's the simple things. It all of us go through it. We go to a restaurant or a store and we've had really bad customer service. And every time that happens is because they forgot about who they were serving.
Right.
And
So
so
beautiful.
may we just never forget. Like I have customers who they tell me because I give them permission to get excited. That's what we say around here. And so we give them permission to get excited about their shutters and so forth. And I have them call up and say, "Hey, listen, I saw our photos of our home on Instagram, and can I have them so I can send them to my family? Because you made my house look absolutely gorgeous."
Oh, that's so fun.
Or Mark, I just keep going back in the room over and over again just to look at them because they're so gorgeous. And so again, it's making, whether it's their dream home, their transitional home, whatever the case may be, it's making their spaces special because they're special.
You are amazing. I'm falling in love with you. No wonder your customers fall in love with you, Mark. This has been so amazing. So, to wrap up the whole deviation into social media conversation, the one thing I want to point out to all the listeners is that when I asked Mark the question, "Who told you?" Nobody told him. There are processes, there's proven marketing. There were things in place per Bloomin' Blinds, but he was the first one in the franchise to take it upon himself to just create. And it didn't he's admitting like he wasn't a professional social media poster, right? He just started doing it and he started following through consistently, right? And with that consistency, you start realizing what works and what doesn't work, and you start improving and you start getting better and you start getting better results from it. So there's this idea in franchising that, well, if it's so turnkey, what am I really bringing to the business? You're bringing everything. Everything that Mark has said that's led him to be successful, it wasn't even about processes. It was about this right here, this beautiful human, right? Who cares about people, who wants to inspire their lives. You can't train for that or coach for that, right?
Right.
That's the part that a franchisor has to hope that you'll show up and become or be.
Right. Absolutely. And you have a chance even in the confines of a franchise to inspire other people. So, like for instance, we've now inspired other people to showcase their work on social media absolutely free. And they're calling me up saying, "Mark, I'm getting all this business. I have realtors reaching out to me. I have homeowners and so forth." And so not only are you thinking about yourself in the franchise, you're working together in a team to build everybody and build the entire organization.
So
And
beautiful.
so and so it's a fantastic option, again, not to just think about your location or what you're doing, but how it affects everybody. And like you said, it blesses the entire team, lifts the entire team, because our goal of Bloomin' Blinds is to make Bloomin' Blinds a household name. And so that's not my goal just here in Birmingham. It's my goal throughout the United States. And it's us working together as a team, not siloing, but really working together as a team to make it happen.
You've heard me say it before. In franchising, we're in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. and you'll go to training and you'll be trained by a corporate office, but a lot of the nuances, the mastering the art of the business, I've said it before, you learn more from your fellow franchisees who are bringing their bringing their ideas into their business and finding what works. And because we're not competitors, we're all shareholders in the same brand. When we find something that works, we want to share it because it makes the whole brand better.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
so inspiring. It's so inspiring.
And
You are inspiring, Mark Tant. I am so happy that Kelsey connected us.
yes, absolutely. And I would say, never stop learning. And so whether it's somebody who failed or somebody who succeeded, like I learn from every customer, I learn from every interaction. I learn from other franchises. I learn from other business owners. I listen to podcasts as I'm going from one appointment to the next in business. Like you have to pour into yourself nonstop and always be a learner because it's only going to make you better each and every day. And it helps you to serve not just your franchise, but also your customers even better each and every day.
And yourself. I'll add that at the end because ultimately we do all of this, right? I always say, people say, "Can I build $1 million business?" I say, "I don't know. Can you? Can
Right.
you deliver $1 million worth of value?" Because it's after you've given the value that you receive the value, right? So
Yes.
you've got to keep investing in yourself and growing yourself so that you can continue to give more to others so that then you can receive. That was so beautifully said, Mark. You're amazing. Have I said that yet? You're amazing.
Well, it's fun being on the podcast with you today. So,
So my final question for you this morning is, okay, so you take a really long time, what I would call a really long time, but maybe it was the right amount of time for you to make this decision. You make the decision in the 12th and a half hour, the job opportunity comes. You said no, you held tight to your dream. Now, this is the question I love to ask. At this stage of your life, do you believe that you are unemployable?
well, that's a tough question.
No, you gotta say yes. Because why would you ever wanna go back and work for somebody else when you know what you can do for yourself and
Yes,
how
ma'am.
much better and freer it can be?
I completely agree. So much so, I'm already looking at other business opportunities and just continue to expand and grow and stuff like that. So this opportunity has so much made me a different person that I will never be the same after owning my own business this way. Never be the same.
That's the
Yeah.
perfect answer, right? And that's what it's about. Whether you decide to ever go back and work for somebody else, or you take this business and grow it and add on another business, or build it and sell it and retire with your millions, you just never know, right?
Yes.
But I love that you identify that the personal growth has changed you in such a way that you can't quote go back.
No, it would be very hard to ever go back. So,
Yeah. That's
yeah.
amazing. Thank you so much for being my special guest today here on Kim Daily TV.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
For those who this conversation has inspired, if you are interested to learn more about the Bloomin' Blinds opportunity, please follow the email on the screen right now or reach directly out to inquire@kimdaily.tv. That's inquire@kimdaily.tv. And until next time, my name is Kim Daly, and I want to be your daily coach.